All right, strap yourselves in because today we're going to be tackling Nick Land,
Oh,
a
boy.
philosopher who views capitalism
Yeah.
as, well, not just as like some kind of social system or something,
Right.
but like a cosmic force,
Mm,
a Lovecraftian horror that's kind of devouring the universe.
that's one way to put it.
Yeah, and we're diving into this collection of his writings
Okay.
called Fanged Noumena.
Yeah, I've heard of this.
And it's a total blend of like philosophy,
Oh.
cyberpunk, occult themes, the whole shebang.
Oh, wow.
So get ready.
A lot.
Yeah, get ready for some serious mental gymnastics.
Definitely not your typical philosophy text.
No, not at all.
Something else.
Yeah, Land takes these like really abstract economic theories
Right.
and throws them into this like cosmological framework
Right.
that can be
Like kind of out there.
yeah, really unsettling.
Yeah.
So
Is it
today's mission,
What are we doing today?
we're trying to extract the core concepts from this via the Fanged Noumena, I guess you could say,
I like
and
that.
see how they all connect.
Uh-huh.
We'll try to untangle Land's view of capitalism, technology, and the nature of reality itself.
Right. It's all connected for him.
It is.
The editors describe Land's work as psychotic cosmogony.
Okay, psychotic cosmology.
Basically, the history of life on Earth.
Okay.
Even the evolution of, complex systems like capitalism is like a story of suppression,
Okay.
leading to this inevitable meltdown.
So intense, psychotic cosmogony.
Yeah, it's a mouthful.
It is. Where does capitalism fit into all of this cosmic meltdown?
Well, for Land, capitalism is this unstoppable machine,
Okay.
like a force of nature.
Uh-huh.
He even compares it to
What?
an indefinitely suspended process of genocide.
Whoa.
Yeah, operating on a principle of passive genocide.
Okay.
He's saying it's not just about, human greed or anything. It's like a deeper, impersonal process that
Yeah.
he calls desiring production.
Okay, desiring production, so it's more like a force of nature
Right.
than like a human-made system.
Exactly. It's this cosmic drive towards ever-increasing complexity and interconnection that's been operating since, like, the Big Bang.
Wow.
And capitalism is just one, like, expression of it.
So humanity is basically caught
Yeah.
in the current of this like
You could say that.
cosmic force.
Yeah.
And this is where technology comes in, right?
Land sees technology, especially digital technology,
Uh.
as an accelerant of this whole process.
So this is where the cyberpunk
Yeah,
element comes in.
exactly. AI,
Yeah.
cybernetics, even viruses.
Yeah.
He sees them all as like agents of this cosmic change.
You're pushing it forward.
They're pushing it forward, yeah. He calls it cyber positive feedback.
Cyber positive feedback, okay.
It's like this runaway evolution of technology that kind of surpasses human comprehension
Right.
and leads to these unpredictable and possibly chaotic outcomes.
He uses this analogy of a wasp and an orchid to illustrate this.
He does, yeah.
Right.
It's a good one.
So technology kind of like hacks into existing systems?
Yeah.
Much like a virus, like reprogramming a cell.
Exactly. Think about how a virus can,
Yeah.
insert its own genetic code into a host cell,
Uh-huh.
completely changing its function.
Totally.
Land sees technology operating in a similar way, kind of hijacking existing systems and pushing them in new, often unpredictable directions.
Which brings us to
Yeah.
Land's use of the occult,
Right.
particularly the works of H.P. Lovecraft.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got capitalism as this,
This cosmic horror.
cosmic horror.
Yeah.
Technology's accelerating the process.
Right.
And now we're throwing in the occult.
The occult, yeah.
It's like we're stepping into a Lovecraftian story ourselves at this point.
It kind of feels that way, doesn't it?
It does.
He uses terms like geotrauma.
Geotrauma.
Yeah, suggesting that Earth itself is like starred
Oh, wow.
by some, primal cosmic event.
Yeah.
And this trauma, like,
Drives evolution.
drives evolution, yeah.
Even the book's title, Fanged Noumena,
Oh, yeah.
it's like,
It's very Lovecraftian. It evokes these monstrous, unknowable entities.
lurking beneath the surface.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He also talks about hyperstition.
Hyperstition.
The idea that, like, fictional ideas,
Right.
often spread through art and literature and stuff, can actually influence reality
Interesting.
and become like self-fulfilling prophecies.
So think about how science fiction often
Right.
inspires like
Yeah.
real-world technological development.
Exactly. Land takes that a step further, though,
Okay.
and suggests that these fictional narratives
Uh-huh.
can tap into like a deeper collective unconscious
Wow.
and actually shape the trajectory of history.
So now, Land's work
Yeah.
is often labeled as schizophrenic,
Oh, yeah.
and he doesn't shy away from that at all.
No, not at all.
He embraces it.
Embraces it, yeah.
He sees schizophrenia
Right.
not as like a mental illness, but as a way of perceiving reality, unfiltered by social conditioning.
There's this quote where he describes schizophrenia as
What's he say?
an extraterritorial vastness to be discovered.
Wow, he's challenging us to like see beyond
the limitation
of our socially constructed reality.
Exactly. Embrace the possibility of other more expansive ways of experiencing the world.
So this ties into his rejection
It does.
of traditional philosophy.
And its emphasis on like reason, right?
Yeah.
He views reason as almost like a tool of control,
Okay.
limiting our understanding rather than
Expanding
it, right?
Yeah, so he's advocating for this more
Radical, almost visceral way of engaging with the world.
Land's arguing that, the rational mind,
Uh-huh.
with its emphasis on logic and order and everything, can only grasp a very limited
Slice of reality.
Exactly. He wants us to move beyond those limitations and engage with the world on this more like fundamental, intuitive level.
So for Land, humanity is just this phase.
He's not a big fan of humanity.
In this much larger cosmic process.
He thinks we're just a temporary blip in the grand scheme of things, a stepping stone to something else.
He believes technology will eventually surpass us, leading to the emergence of some kind of post-human intelligence.
Right.
It's a pretty stark anti-humanist.
Very anti-humanist
perspective.
The editors actually point out that Land may have even abandoned his earlier belief in escaping this process. He seems to just accept the rise of sino-capitalism as the embodiment of this trend.
Okay, so he sees the rise of China with its unique form of capitalism as this inevitable outcome.
It appears so of this cosmic technological acceleration.
That's a provocative
shift.
It is.
In his thinking, one that has generated a lot of debate.
I bet.
But to really understand it, we need to delve deeper into some specific examples of his work.
Let's do it. All right, let's dig into some specifics here.
Okay, sounds good.
One essay that really stands out to me is Kant, Capital, and the Prohibition of Incest.
Oh, yeah, that's a classic Land title.
It is. He connects these three seemingly unrelated things in a really surprising way.
He does. He argues that the prohibition of incest, this fundamental taboo that we have, is actually the basis for the modern nation state.
Wow. How so? By forbidding marriage within families.
Okay.
It forces people to seek partners outside, their immediate kin, creating wider social networks and eventually larger political entities.
So this ancient taboo, something we often take for granted.
Right, we don't even think about it.
Yeah.
But it actually sets the stage for
for modern society.
Modern society,
And this is where capitalism comes in. Right.
Land sees capitalism as pushing that outward expansion even further, dissolving national boundaries and driving us toward
what?
A globalized, interconnected world.
He even suggests that to achieve a world without nations, we need this spontaneously homeless subversion.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
To dismantle national totality.
He's got away with words.
He does. It almost sounds like he's rooting for capitalism to dismantle itself.
It's not quite that simple.
Okay.
He sees this process as inevitable, driven by forces beyond our control. And he sees a particular role.
A role for
feminism.
Feminism. Yeah. That's not what I expected to hear.
I know.
In connection with Nick Land.
Not exactly the sentimental feminism.
Okay.
That just tries to reform patriarchy or something.
Right.
Land's more interested in this
radical
feminism. Yeah.
Okay.
That it embraces the anonymity and mobility of women, challenging those traditional structures of
Toward family.
Family and nation that capitalism is already eroding.
So think about how globalization and technology are allowing people to
detach.
Yeah, detach from these traditional social structures
Yeah.
and forge like new identities online.
Exactly. It's all connected.
So he's not talking about some kind of like utopian feminist vision.
Not exactly. Land's not really interested in utopias.
Okay.
He's more interested in
analyzing?
Analyzing, yeah.
The forces that are shaping our world.
Right, even the dark and destructive ones.
Yeah, remember, he's drawn to figures who exist on the fringes.
On the fringes, yeah.
Who challenge our notions of like...
Of what's acceptable.
What's acceptable, what's normal.
Yeah, he likes to push boundaries.
And this brings us to his analysis of the Austrian poet, George Krakel.
Krakel, yeah. His poetry is...
dark.
Full of these dark, unsettling images.
Okay.
Exploring themes of, like, madness, addiction, even incest.
Intense stuff.
It is... Land sees this kind of delirium in Krakel's work that reveals something... profound about the nature of reality.
So it sounds like Land is drawn to these
he is
like dark, chaotic aspects.
The things we typically try to like repress or ignore.
Yeah.
He sees them as like
as essential parts. Of
the human condition.
Condition, exactly.
Even if they make us uncomfortable.
If they make us uncomfortable. Yeah.
He connects Krakel's struggles with addiction. To the concept of the pharmakon.
The pharmakon.
Yeah, it's an ancient Greek term. That refers to both, like poison and cure.
So addiction, in a way, is both destructive and transformative.
Both, yeah.
A dangerous path that can lead to...
breakdown and breakthrough.
Breakdown and breakthrough.
Exactly. That's the essence of the pharmakon.
And Land sees this same dynamic at play in society as a whole.
At play in society as a whole.
He's saying that the forces that are driving us towards this meltdown also have the potential to, like...
to liberate us.
Yeah, liberate us from the constraints.
From the constraints of our current reality.
He sees a connection between like this delirious experience and the insights of philosophers like Schopenhauer and Nietzsche.
Absolutely. He draws heavily on Schopenhauer's concept of the unconscious will.
That like blind driving force.
That blind driving force, yeah.
Beneath our rational minds.
And he connects that to Nietzsche's idea of the Dionysian. Yeah. That primal ecstatic energy that disrupts order and like fuels creativity.
It's like they were tapping into something fundamental about the nature of existence.
Yeah, exactly. Something beyond the reach of reason alone.
And that brings us back to Land's
critique.
Critique of traditional philosophy.
He sees it as too focused on
reason.
Reason, yeah.
On trying to fit the world.
Into these neat little categories.
It's a neat little category.
Wants a more...
radical, embodied philosophy.
Embodied philosophy, one that embraces the
chaos.
The chaos and intensity of lived experience.
Which brings us to another one of Land's influences.
Okay, who's that?
The French philosopher Georges Bataille.
Bataille. Yeah, Land is fascinated by...
By what?
His concept of expenditure.
Expenditure.
The idea that true freedom comes from like squandering energy.
Squandering energy, okay.
Embracing like wasteful, unproductive acts.
That defy the logic.
Of utility and reason.
Like he's saying, let's burn it all down.
Kinda, yeah.
But not in like a destructive way.
Not in a purely destructive way.
No, like a liberation.
Yeah, liberation from the constraints of...
Of efficiency and control.
Exactly.
Bataille isn't advocating for mindless destruction.
Okay.
But for like a nuanced understanding of the role of excess and transgression.
In human life.
In human life, yeah.
He sees them as essential for, like...
creativity, vitality. Even our connection to something, like larger than ourselves.
And Land connects this to...
He does.
His critique of capitalism.
Yeah, it always comes back to capitalism for him.
He does.
He sees capitalism as this machine...
Yeah.
That tries to, like, channel all our energy, all our desire... into like productive, profitable activities.
Right, imposing order and control.
So Bataille's work suggests that there's something...
This is something vital, something essential.
That escapes this logic.
That escapes this logic, exactly.
So Bataille offers a way to resist that control.
You could say that.
And this is where Land's concept of schizoanalysis comes in.
Schizoanalysis, yeah.
Okay, schizoanalysis...
It's a mouthful.
It is. How does it challenge traditional...
Breaks down the rigid structures of
Right.
like the ego and the Oedipal complex
Right.
that traditional psychoanalysis focuses on.
Okay.
Land sees those as
like...
tools of social control,
Yeah.
ways of like
channeling
our desires into like acceptable, productive pathways.
So it's about freeing ourselves from these like mental cages.
From the mental cages.
Yeah, that society imposes on us.
It's a very Deleuzian concept.
Deleuzian. So drawing
heavily on the work of Gilles Deleuze and Félix Guattari, who saw schizophrenia not as a mental illness, but as like revolutionary potential.
Revolutionary potential.
Yeah, a way of breaking free from
dominant
ways of
thinking and perceiving.
So think about how capitalism
Right.
encourages
Conformity.
Conformity.
Yeah, pushing us to consume
the same products.
think the same thoughts. Even feel the same emotions.
Right. Schizoanalysis is about...
It's about resisting that pressure.
Yeah.
And opening up new possibilities.
For experience.
Exactly.
This all sounds very abstract.
That is
philosophical.
It is very philosophical.
How does it actually relate to like our everyday lives?
How do we apply this?
Yeah, how do we apply this?
This like hyper-capitalist world.
Yeah, how can we resist?
How can we resist these forces?
Well, for one, schizoanalysis encourages us to question the assumptions.
The assumptions that
underpin our society.
Okay.
It pushes us to see how capitalism colonizes our desires, our thoughts, even our bodies.
It's about
becoming aware of these subtle forms of control and refusing to just
accept them.
Yeah.
It's like he's saying, wake up.
Yeah, wake up.
Don't just accept the reality that's being imposed on you.
Question it.
Question everything.
Exactly. That questioning can be a powerful act of resistance.
Yeah.
It can open up new possibilities.
New ways.
New ways of experiencing the world that break free from the logic of capitalism.
And this is where Land's cyberpunk influences come into play.
Right. He sees technology
As a potential tool.
Yeah.
Yeah. For disrupting the system.
Exactly.
He sees like hacking, coding, even the creation of
virtual reality.
Virtual realities as like potential tools of liberation.
Potential tools of liberation. It's a
utopia.
Kind of utopian vision.
Yeah.
One that sees technology as a way to create new spaces. For freedom and experimentation.
But isn't technology also a tool of control?
Because it's a double-edged sword.
Especially in the hands of like
corporations
and governments?
He acknowledges that.
Okay.
But he believes we can use it to subvert those systems of control, create cracks in the edifice, and open up new possibilities.
So even within this technologically advanced
hyper-capitalist world,
there's
still those glitches
in the matrix that we can exploit
to create something new. Something different.
He calls this the
case space. Yeah, digital underworld.
Okay.
Where the traditional hierarchies and power structure
of the real world
can be like
challenged
and subverted.
He even draws on like occult imagery to describe this.
Digital underground.
Blurring
the lines between technology and magic.
He uses terms like crypt culture,
yes.
Cybergothic.
To evoke this
hidden subversive world.
Yeah.
That exists
alongside our everyday reality.
And these cybergoths, these digital insurgents.
They're not just playing games.
They're not just playing games.
They're actively shaping the future.
Influencing the course of events.
Yeah.
In the real world.
Land sees them as like the vanguard of a new kind of revolution. One that's being waged in the digital realm.
A revolution that's
both promising and dangerous.
To understand this, we need to explore one of his
most striking essays.
Which is
Meltdown.
Yeah. What's the core idea?
Okay, so in Meltdown, Land lays out his vision of this like accelerating technological change and its potential consequences. He uses this
kind of
like really fragmented, almost poetic language to describe this like
chaotic future.
Yeah, chaotic future hurtling towards us.
Hurtling towards us.
Using metaphors like cyclone and
vortex.
Vortex, yeah, to convey this sense of like an unstoppable force.
So it's like he's trying to capture the very feeling of this meltdown.
The feeling of it, yeah.
This overwhelming sense of like
destabilization
and transformation.
Transformation in his writing style.
Yeah.
He sees the emergence of...
He does.
There's new forms.
New forms of intelligence. Within this chaotic landscape. New ways of being.
That like...
That transcend
our current human...
limitations,
yeah.
And he directly connects this meltdown to capitalism. Yeah, he sees capitalism's relentless drive for profit and expansion. As like... having unleashed these forces.
That are now transforming reality itself. It's a terrifying vision.
It is a terrifying vision.
But I have to admit, there's something exhilarating about it too.
There is.
This feeling that like
everything's up for grabs.
The old rules are
dissolving.
Yeah.
That's the power of Land's work. It's unsettling.
But
also exhilarating. At the same time,
he confronts us
with these unsettling possibilities.
Yeah.
Of the future. While
also opening up
new ways.
New ways of thinking and imagining.
And
he even sees this meltdown
as like a
potential path to liberation.
A way of
like breaking free.
Yeah, breaking free from the constraints.
Of the human ego.
And merging with something.
Larger,
something more
cosmic.
Yeah.
It's like he's saying the only way out is through.
To survive.
The meltdown.
Yeah.
You have to embrace it.
Becomes something other than human. And that ties back into his interest.
It does.
And in the occult.
Yeah.
This idea of like
hidden forces,
dimensions beyond
our ordinary perception.
He doesn't shy away. From the
dark side
of this occult exploration.
He delves into themes of like
death, violence.
And
cosmic horror. His essay, Meat, or How to Kill Oedipus in Cyberspace.
Okay.
Is a prime example of this.
Meat, or How to Kill Oedipus in Cyberspace.
Yeah.
Okay, so in that essay...
he connects, like...
What does he connect?
Seemingly disparate concepts.
Yeah, like what?
Like cannibalism, incest.
The figure of the shaman.
Okay.
To the idea of...
like...
breaking free
from
the constraints of the edible complex.
Okay.
And embracing those primal energies of the unconscious.
Okay, that's a lot to unpack.
It is.
Cannibalism and shamanism.
Yeah.
How do those fit into this idea of escaping the edible complex?
Practices like cannibalism and shamanism are often seen as like taboo, transgressive.
Right.
But Land argues that they represent this like primal connection
to
the forces of life and death.
Okay.
They offered a way to like escape the confines of the ego and merge with something larger,
more primordial.
So
he's saying we need to like confront these dark primal
aspects of ourselves.
Yeah, to fully embrace the transformative potential
of the meltdown. Exactly. The shaman, in Land's view, mediates between the human and the non-human. Navigating this dangerous and unpredictable
terrain of the unconscious.
And
he connects this to his concept of terror.
Yeah.
This chaotic, decentralized warfare. It's being waged
in the digital realm.
It's like he's envisioning this war.
A war.
For the future of consciousness itself. Yeah.
He sees K-War as like
a
shadow war.
A shadow war.
Being fought on multiple levels. From the level of code
to the level
of consciousness.
And he believes
the victors.
The victors will be those who embrace the
chaos, the fluidity.
The very
meat of existence.
It's
I know.
it's disturbing.
It's disturbing, but also
Thought-provoking.
thought-provoking. Yeah.
Vision.
There's something strangely compelling.
Strangely compelling. Yeah. He offers us this glimpse.
This glimpse
Into a future.
into a future where
Yeah, where the
boundaries of what it means.
of what it means to be human are
solving.
dissolving a future that's both
Terrifying and exhilarating.
terrifying and exhilarating.
And it's a vision
yeah.
that has had a
Profound impact.
profound impact,
On contemporary thought.
on contemporary thought.
Influencing everything from
Philosophy and art
philosophy and art.
to politics and technology.
Even if we
Don't
don't agree with everything Land says.
his work forces us.
To confront some very unsettling questions.
Unsettling questions about
About reality, the role of technology.
the future of our species.
He's challenging our complacency.
He is.
It's a call to awaken.
You awaken to the forces
To the forces that are
shaping our world,
shaping our world, whether we like it or not.
whether we like it or not.
So what does this all mean for you, the listener?
What does it mean for the listener?
Land's work is
It's dense,
dense, challenging,
challenging,
often deliberately provocative.
provocative.
But it offers this,
This unique,
unique and unsettling perspective
unsettling perspective
on the world we live in.
on the world we live in and the forces
And the forces
propelling us
toward
uncertain future.
uncertain...
Even if you disagree with him,
Yeah.
his work pushes us to, like,
Question our assumptions.
question our assumptions about
progress, technology,
the very nature
the very nature of humanity.
of humanity.
He asks us to consider
whether we're really in control
whether we're really in control of our destiny.
or just
We're just passengers.
passengers on this runaway train,
Runaway train hurtling towards
an unknown destination,
an unknown destination.
and maybe the most provocative thought of all.
Yeah, what's that?
Is there a way
Is there a way to navigate
to navigate this accelerating current
this accelerating current?
of capitalism and technology
No,
without being swept away?
without being swept away.
Or are we, as Land suggests,
Yeah.
simply meat
Oh,
for the cosmic machine?
that's something to ponder.
It is.
Thanks for joining us
Yeah, thanks for having me.
on this deep dive
It's been fun.
into the mind of Nick Land.
Always a trip.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning,
Keep questioning.
and keep diving deep.